What is good? All power to oppressed people. African power to an African people and black power. It's your brother Yang and Kruma, man. Coming again today, fortunate enough to come to get again today with another tribal voice. And it's always a pleasure to be able to beat up on your eardrums when you allow me. Um, no, really, when you allow me to share with you, and y'all give me a moment, you know how I get. And then already, quick disclaimer, boy, I am Fred Flintstone when it comes to this tech, but I am learning. All right. Um, I'm always appreciative when you share these moments with me. Come share your opinions, your take, your perspectives on just black life. And now that we have the internet, I think what's so awesome about it's just not the black life experience here in America. I'm having an opportunity to get hear different aspects of black life, melanated life, African life from our brothers and sisters from throughout the diaspora. And that's cool too, because you get to hear not only their personal take and perspective on some things, but you get to hear how they perceive you. Give me a moment. So that's the whole thing about that, which is awesome. You guys got to forgive me, man. I thought that business could be handled. Give me a moment. In fact, give me a yeah, give me a moment. Hang tight. Yo, y'all pardon for the technical difficulties. Got my man, the scientist, Kustal, coming on. I appreciate
Peace,
it, guy. Um,
peace, big bro. How you doing?
Peace. I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I had these
That's good.
technical difficulties and everything going on. I hope I don't have to uh, come back and redo the show, but it just was going
Okay.
down. Listen, I had a show. In fact, I'm glad you came on, Kustal, because
Yes, sir.
you're the inspiration for the show.
See, don't do that. Don't do that.
Nah,
What you
real
mean?
talk, man. You are the inspiration. You and I were on our build and we were doing our thing. And I think I was telling you a little bit about what's been going on, what I've been exposed to in these
Right.
so-called YouTube streets, and the new thing, the new and latest attack against the black family or the propagation, continuance of black life was this woman's fear, man's fear, um, the denigration, the actual just, I mean, outright humiliation.
Hmm.
Just, man, once again, black men being, You know, the old. I mean, after a while, it sounds like a broken record.
Yeah, we've been vilified,
There you go.
you
There
know,
you go.
for hundreds of years.
There you go.
You know, we know the
So
black man, we know the propaganda that's been put up against us, and you know, once again, their target audience is black women.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? If they can get our mothers, our sisters, our significant others to turn against us or look at us skeptically, have little confidence in us, man. That's shoot. That nation is not standing on strong pillars right there.
hmm 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 Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think what gets it on this end too is not only are they, not only are they contributing to further vilifying and demonizing, I think is the word I'm looking for, black males, but they're masquerading it as a survival mechanism, a defense mechanism. From what I hear, they're like um, really painting it out to be we're warning women about the behaviors or the dangers. I don't know what they're trying to do of black men.
Mm.
And they use it so interchangeably. It's black men on one hand, then it's men on the other hand. And this is why I call this black relationships or origin story. And why I said you inspired it. Because when we were talking, you said they have to know where all of this comes from.
Hmm. Yeah.
Greetings, Poetic. Jump on the back. Listen, I dropped the link. Jump up here with us. We need a sister up here. That's what's up.
Oh yes, definitely welcome to Queens.
Um,
But
and
yeah, brother. You know, elaborate on what you just said. It's deep rooted, man. You know, the whole goal of white supremacy. I really like to call it white fragility because everything they do is acting out of fear, and that's a fragile mind state. You know, that of a fearful being. You know what I'm saying? Their number one thing is to turn the black man and black woman against each other because
mhm,
it's all about, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but it's about genetic survival. It's what it's about. So if they can keep the black man and black woman separate at odds and not having babies and families, that's a win for white supremacy. That's an easy way for them to keep oppressing us and controlling us. You know.
absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, I think we're gonna have to get a lot more. I think we're gonna have to get a lot more specific because
Mm.
that's general. That is very general. That's
Mhm.
absolutely the plan. But we have to, how does this tie in? How is it like what I tell some of the sisters? Like I don't trivialize their complaint. I don't belittle their complaints. They're
We can't.
very valid. They
Yes,
are
they are.
complaints of us really stepping up, us prioritizing, and doing things that I think generally most people would agree, if not even manhood, at the very least is maturity.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In this
Yeah,
real world.
a lot of that
But how do
animosity,
we get, huh?
you talk about, big bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. A lot of that angst and anguish they have towards us because we didn't protect them. See, the man, we stronger physically. We supposed to protect that precious vessel called the woman. You know what I mean? And when we didn't protect her from invaders, from that European that came in and enslaved us for hundreds of years, and even on the plantation, did unbearable, unspeakable, horrific crimes towards us. We didn't protect them, and they lost a lot of respect. And that's the issue that we haven't been able to heal, man. We haven't really been able to sit down and talk and heal and try to deal with this as a community because we still dealing with added on trauma and issues and situations as we go through the years and the decades. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think the illusion of modernity or a certain amount of inclusiveness in politics or just in social life, meaning we got the illusion that we've made it in our ability to live comfortable and participate in a general America policies and procedures, or just a generic America. We don't, like you said, we brush under the rug the very real trauma that affects us from coming together and having functional families. Everything from just the way that we interact with one another to our definition in this day and time as
Yeah.
Black family. What constitutes, what are the defined positions and roles
Yeah.
of a contemporary Black family, if any? And this is why I said relationships and origin story, because it isn't just a relationship to one another. Why I got you on, I call you the scientist Custal, man.
Okay, I
Definitely.
appreciate that, big bro. I humbly appreciate that.
Because we're gonna break it down, but where it's not just relationships with each other as it relates to human beings, but relationships to everything in our cultural understanding, makeup, and social interactions, from economics to politics to spiritual. Let's discuss the role of religion.
Yeah, yeah. Religion, culture, all of these things. Religion is basically like, they made it into culture. It is like a culture. How you move, how what you believe, how you perceive things. This is culture, and the problem with the Black man and the Black woman's relationship in America is our culture. Our culture here in the last 30 years, 40 years has not promoted healthy relationships between us. With rap being taken over by these corporate record labels, and them having disrespect our queen. This music subconsciously planting suspicions and insecurities in us about our other, sisters, about our sisters, and even with the sisters, making them suspicious about brothers, not trusting brothers with songs like Creep by TLC. These songs that promote, inconspicuous behavior, cheating behavior subconsciously. You growing up listening to songs constantly saying you can't trust a bitch, you can't trust her, you know, then you're going to grow into a culture that says that does not promote and does not say you're being smart by investing in a Black woman, or a Black woman investing in a Black man. It's about what can you do for me right now, the immediate need. It's not about growth or build. Our culture, our music does not promote that. And that's what our people are being raised on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's because it's profitable.
Definitely.
Once that's where it comes in, the relationship of how we see ourselves. I heard someone say, I think it was yesterday, was you or someone said that white supremacy, one of the key components of white supremacy is our participation.
Yep. It won't.
So
It won't. It won't survive without our participation.
there you
It
go.
can't survive. It can't survive without our participation, because it demands Black labor. It demands Black docile people. It demands a docile people, easily to control and manipulate. So if you take that away, what do you have? You have white people attacking their own people. That's one reason why the poor whites they don't want to get along with us. They don't want to build with us. They think they better than us and are against us, because they don't want them rich white elitists doing the same thing they did to them in Europe before they came to America. You know what I'm saying? With the Spanish
Yeah.
Inquisition, all the French Revolution, all of them beheadings and burning witches at the stake, and so-called witches at the stake and whatnot. These people, the Vikings, they've always been a violent people, but first they were violent towards each other. So it's like the poor whites, the whites that are less fortunate with resources and security, they like, look, if the Black people go away, then who you think the elitist white folks gonna target? Who you think is gonna be the victims? Who you think is gonna be the oppressed class? So that's what we dealing with. That's what we facing when we looking at, okay, why is it that the Black family can't exist in America? Because you have the Black family, the Black man, the Black woman. You bring that child into that that dichotomy, that situation, man, the black nation will grow, because if the black family's not healthy, the black nation will not be healthy. The black nation will not prosper without the family, because the family is the microcosm of the nation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think, and that's the thing. I don't think anybody would
Right.
really we're not disagreeing with that. I know I'm not. I don't know if the point of um how do we begin to shit? I don't even know what I want to ask you, because I so agree. I'm trying to make it an engaging conversation because I
Right.
so agree. But we have to talk about, I think we have to talk about some of the ploys. What was some of the methods used to get us to this point of the game? Because we know what happens when the black family comes together, but it has been so jumbled. What is black family now?
Yeah.
Is it black family a patriarchal structure like the white man has given us? You know what I'm saying? The man, the head, this defies manhood. The man should make this much a year. He should be able to, do this and provide that. That's what constitutes manhood. Then woman is barefoot and pregnant. I don't know. What is the hierarchy to family now? What do we define that? What are we as black men being measured against? You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's a
and
good
how did
question.
we get
That's
to
a
the
good
point,
question.
huh?
That's a good question, bro.
You know, because we know, like you said, we understand the intentional. Let's start there. Let's go back to, because you can't. I know people say, you know, well, you can't blame the past. What about now? You can't blame the past. What about now? And I'm not trying to be insensitive, women. And maybe this is a terrible example to use, being a man.
Yeah,
But
we
I
need
want
we need
to
a
drive
sister or
a
two
point
on here. We
home.
need a sister or two on here, man. We need a guest.
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to drive home, and I'm not going to say the equivalent, but I would use as an analogy, um, the person that had, been a victim of rape. And
Right.
because they suffer from trauma,
Yeah.
and have live a lifestyle that is reflective of the trauma they suffer. They may dress different now. They definitely may not go to certain spots. Their relationships are going to be different. And would we be insensitive to tell them to get over it?
No, we'll never get over it. I mean,
You
it's a part.
exactly.
It's a part of
So
our.
so you can't. I think that a lot of times we're looking at symptoms and blaming people for symptoms. And it's easy to do because, one, it's shallow. It's the first thing you encounter, a symptom. You can blame the person, you try to make the person the sum total of the symptom. And secondly, it's very therapeutic. You get a stress relief. It's about the equivalent of, sometimes when you hear me talking about the white man, now I know it's not the everyday average white man that I run across, but the white man is symbolic of the white supremacist system in my mind and in my speech. So it's easy a lot of times when you can, like you said, you vilify the black man because you can pinpoint a monster to a lot of your pain and your suffering.
Yeah, yeah. The black man is the key component, along with the black woman, to them being basically irrelevant to the world. It's like this, man. We live in amongst the people that are very envious of us, and you got to understand, this white man, he wants this black woman. He wants our woman. Not just because she's beautiful and intelligent, and she's motherly and all these beautiful aspects of nature that the black woman is. The fact that he knows, they know that they have to plant their seed to go on, man. They have to do this. This is genetic. See, we have to really be real. And I don't want to go over the people's heads that's listening, but we got to start dealing with reality and understand that everything that's being done to us, it's about genetic survival for them. It's as simple as that. Anything they do when they legalized abortion in the early 1970s, what was that done for? That was because they figured black people having too many babies. Richard Nixon put that out there, didn't he? So it's a thing where we just got to come in a realization that when we was brought here, we weren't brought here to be families. We was brought here to be property, to be a labor force, and that's how they still look at us, and to be capital for them. So there's no capital in black families, no black family structure. There's only capital in dysfunction for them when it comes to us. So that's why they're promoting the promiscuous behavior, the hypersexual behavior, because they already knew look, that's already been in us. When we came in contact with them in the 1500s, the 1600s, when the slave trade really started to pick up and they brought us here, there was rapes going on. The men were raped, the women were raped. And in the early 1700s, they started something that really messed us up sexually. We still haven't gotten over. Was breeding farms. Breeding farms was something really unique to the United States. Even the Caribbean islands and South America didn't have breeding farms like the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was something. It was a creation where they would have a home, and they would have maybe 12, 10, 12, 15, depending on how wealthy the slave owner was. Have a number of black women in there. Sometimes your own mother and auntie have you and 3, 4, 5 what they call bucks, and fall down on them women and get them pregnant so they can have babies for master to have property. That's where the term motherfucker, a lot of people say that's where the term motherfucker come from.
I think you need to rewind that. Peace to the goddess Ayo. And I'm listen, as first of all, let me shout out to Nandi. Nandi, jump on. The thing's open. Peace to the goddess Ayo. I'm gonna have Ayo on one of these shows, man, to break down this thing she turned me on to and really to get into this metaverse, man. This is what's happening. And I know if I can get hip to it, anybody can get hip to it. And y'all know I'm always talking about the system, collapse of the system, alternatives and shit. Check me out. But I don't want to digress. That's going to be a show that I can't wait to have the goddess on. But I want you to go back, man. I want you to touch on that again, bro. Like, I don't know if the people are hearing you, and we've been taught to gloss over our history. We've been so desensitized that we can hear something and we gloss over it. It doesn't even move us. But sometimes things have to be reiterated so our gungun, our ancestors, can know we acknowledge it. And the way they know that we acknowledge it is we feel it in our core. Like we say, I got them goosebumps. I felt that. That's your ancestors letting you know.
That's the ancestors within you. Yeah.
Letting you know we felt that. So I want you to go back and say again that this is so you can see what human beings, and not just human beings, the greatest contributors to human civilization, to the achievements of human civilization ever reduced to. Go back on that break that down again, brother, what they had.
Man, them breeding farms, I'm in the state of Kentucky. One of the main states back then were known for breeding farms, Kentucky. And you got to understand, man, this psycho, I call it psycho, and I heard a brother break it down. It's that psycho, the European, what they introduced to us was this psychosexual homoerotica. erotica type
Wow.
mentality. Yeah, this where you just, from anal sex to rape to gang bangs, these this type of behavior we got from them, and this was what it was practiced in the breeding farms. They didn't care if your mother, your sister was in there and they needed some property, they needed wealth, because we was the first credit card. Black slaves was the first credit card in America, meaning that you could be a poor white and you got 2, 3 slaves, you could lend them out to the neighbor down the street, do no work, and come back with wealth.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was a thing where they wanted property. They didn't care where the baby came from. They didn't care if it came from your sister, your mama, or none of that. So this psychosexual homoerotica is in us, man. And the fact that we were sold away, we were sold away to different plantations, children's babies sold away from their parents and never see their parents again. Some of us is kin. Some of us indigenous to the same chiefs and tribes, and we in relationships with each other and don't know it.
Right. Wonder why we crazy as hell.
Yeah, man, there's a whole dichotomy, there's a whole twisted story and history behind us being around these people in America. It's a psychosexual homoerotica behavior that they put on us. And the only time we really start to heal as a community, if you look at it, history, big bruh, is when after the Civil War and Reconstruction, they created Jim Crow and segregation was upon us. And we was isolated and we started to have families. But it wasn't until what we integrated once again, and then the family structure was dissipated, was destroyed in the late 60s, early 70s for a lot of programs and policies they put in place.
Mm-hmm.
This is facts, man. So this behavior, as long as we'll be around these people, and I'm not talking about all white people, I ain't talking absolutes, but I'm talking about as a whole in general. As long as we're around them, we're gonna exhibit and practice this type of behavior, man. It's in the air. It's in the air, man. This is their nature. This is how they always acted in Europe, and the history, Vikings, the history, the way they never respected their woman ever. And I want to touch on what you said about religion, Yanga, when you were saying how does religion tie into it? It has a lot to do with, because to me, I don't even understand how any woman could be religious, big bro. As much as the Bible, Quran, all the major, they disrespect the woman. No woman can be a prophet. It was Eve that fell a victim to the snake's words, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's countless things, and then you got Heavenly Father.
Mm-hmm.
They just took the divine feminine straight out of God's nature.
Yeah.
It's just, so it's all of this is implanted in us to where now, once you take the divine feminine out of God and out of spirituality in the sense of family, now you base in relationships like the Iceman mentality. The woman is looking like, okay, what can you do for me? Where's the stability? Where's the security? And we don't have that. We the only people in the world, African Americans, that the woman makes more on average than the man. The woman makes more on average than the man. It's economics, and that's a main component to respect. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing where they taking care of you. It's a level of respect. It goes back to that mentality of it's about the physical world. What can you provide material wise? And if I'm making more on average, then I don't respect you as a black man.
Yeah.
And the reason is because we've been castrated as far as making money in this white man's world. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Especially if and that's what we say double fold. This is why I was talking about relationships. Because you're absolutely right. If your oppressor also is the one that defies the standards or set the standards for manhood or so-called manhood, hell yeah, you're gonna fall short for every time. If he says, manhood means you acquire such amount of wealth per year, hell yeah, he's not gonna make that bar for you easy. He's hedging his bets. He's hedging the playing field, and I think that this is to be understood and natural. and some of us are like, fuck it, okay, we understand he's gonna do it. What we, in the meantime, why he does it, what we understand is we have to have counter institutions. We have to have everything that he does to maintain, or they do to maintain their white supremacy. We have to have institutions to begin to not only train us immediately, but prepare us for protracted struggle, to begin to train our children to face this beast and undo and unweave what has been woven.
Yeah.
I said all that to say that that is even going to start with, it's Kwanzaa, you guys. I know you guys had Kuja Khalil, self-determination, redefine ourself, redefining ourself, and redefining what constitutes the structure of Black family and even Black manhood. If we know that they have intentionally put it in a position where economically our women are in better stations, then brothers, and I know it's a mouth, it's, listen, I'm swallowing on a lot of the words, it's a lot to take in, but you might have to get your domestication on. You may have to start flipping some things. We have to begin to evolve to be what our community needs to be for our continuance.
And I want to say this, man. I love Black women. I love y'all sisters. And my love is an African word called agape. A term, agape means all encompassing, deep love, like deep beyond the flesh love. I love Black women because that's where we come from. You know, and I want to thank Black women for really holding it down in a time, even now, a lot of Black women hold us down, big bro. You know this, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love them, you know, because just as, you know, you got women out here, Black women who are negative towards Black men, you still got a lot of sisters out here who love Black men, who support Black men, and they got our backs, you know, and I just want to thank those
Right.
sisters, and we appreciate them, you know. And that's where we come from because, you know, I was programmed and I grew up in an Islamic, you know, home, and my brother, he can relate. You know, we was all once upon a time deep into Islam, and where the woman was secondary and subservient to the man. That's how we was, you know, doctrinated with that doctrine. Coming to find out, studying African spirituality, that the woman is really in the front. You know what I'm saying? Like African spirituality, our ancestors, they actually believed the woman was first and that she gave birth to her mate. You know what I mean? And that the Black woman created math. See, they give it always to these Greek philosophers and to these men that learn from Africans, but the Black woman created math. Why? Because Mount Kilimanjaro, they say that's where life really kind of started around this area, you know. And what does Mount Kilimanjaro mean? It's the mountain of the moon. Why is it called that? Because she recognized her menstrual cycle with the moon. And she used to count the days down to when her menstrual cycle was about to, you know, come on or come off or whatever it may be at that time. So that's where this is the history of this name, Mount Kilimanjaro, the significance of the first human beings being Africa, the Black woman being the first human being, not the man. The man had no need for math, but the woman did because of her body, her cycle. So we owe everything to the Black woman.
I don't, you know, I agree. I think the fact that we have to reiterate that is the point.
Yeah, man.
You know, the fact that we have to reiterate that is the point. And it almost, you don't want to, it's sad you have to go over that. You have to remind people the necessity of our woman, the role that our woman has played historically, in not just, like you so adequately put, holding us down, but also in the developments of sciences. And, you know, like, you know, to go on to say even the developments of language, for the need to them to communicate certain plants that were edible and certain things to continue with certain things. So that,
they were in leadership positions, you know,
yeah. So
you
that's not a question. I question, when we're gonna come in, our question comes in, and what I'm going back to is, then what are some of the, you know, we know some of the things we were talking about, the breeding farms. We're talking about, you know, the buckism, which I wholeheartedly believe that that trauma in itself led to an emotional callous. It led to, along down the line, our inability to really connect.
Bro, guess what they used to, how they used to do it, Yanga? Like you said, our traumatized. They used to put bags over our heads, bro.
Wow.
In the breeding farms, documented. Do your research. They used to put bags over our ancestors' head and make them have sex, man, with your own kinfolk if need be.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
is the
man,
savage.
that's really messed up, man. That's
Right.
sad.
This is the savage. This is the
But
savage we're
it's
dealing with.
fact. It's history. And it's
Right.
and it's cause and effect. And that's one of the, one of the things that we had with that we dealing with inside. That's one of the things, not excluding all the other stuff that's going on in our world today with the promotion of hypersexual behavior. That's just triggering that. That's like, it's like a trigger. It's like it's in our genes. You pass down, a mother can pass down trauma to the babies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you hearing this music and you seeing this behavior, it's triggering that. I can't trust this nigga. I can't trust this chick. We was thinking like that in slavery. When we was on the plantation, you was thinking, I can't trust a master gonna come over and lay down with her later. And I'm gonna be
Wow.
sitting outside the
Yeah.
cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that must
Mm-hmm.
scars mentally, man. Psychology, neurologists and people study the brain have they determine, man, scientifically proven that you can pass down that trauma, that experience, and have it in you. Don't even know why you act in a certain way. Because grandma and grandma before that was raped and traumatized and seen all kind of horrific things from childhood all the way to when they died, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ancestors, man.
Mm-hmm.
The fortitude of our people, bruh. And now, the beautiful thing about what I see now is I see black love. I see the encouragement of black love, and that's healthy. But at the same time, like you said, big bro, we still do have a problem. Is because now that we live in this new world created by our oppressors, that the European, the white folks, they basically say the woman, you are a sexual tool. The woman has always been a sexual object to the European, ever since they was in the caves. But to us, we never just looked at the black woman as just a sexual object.
And here's the craziest damn thing, Issa. You want to know what's crazy about it? This is what's out there now this is who we're being compared to.
Yeah.
This is the importance of knowing your history, knowing the origin of something. Like I'm always going back to using the analogies of the medical thing where something is a symptom and you're judging the symptom. You actually have women comparing us to white men and attempting to make us more horrible than the Frankenstein. Than Dr.
Yeah, because they looking at it like this. They looking at it like this, Yanga. A lot of women, not just black women, but women in general, have been programmed that your vagina is gold, and a man should give you the treasures of the world 10 times fold for it, even though there's millions of other vaginas out here.
You think that's what it? But I'm gonna tell you, some of that,
because the proof is you see it all the time on social media. Women are more worried about their bodies and taking pictures of their bodies, images, and you can love yourself. But how many women are going on there besides sisters like Nandi and special sisters like herself, strong sisters like herself? How many sisters is really saying, I read this book? They come in with science. They come in with enlightening knowledge.
I don't know, brother.
It was a balance.
I think that's generalization, Issa. I think you generalizing now. I think that's generalization. I think that because they could use the same argument. They could use the same exact argument in saying, how many brothers are coming with the books? How many brothers are coming with the jobs? How many? In fact, I believe.
Yeah, that's us too. That's what I'm saying. We are part of that narrative, meaning that we hunting for it. That's all we don't care. We don't care what a woman. Most black men don't care what's in a woman's mind and her heart. We just want the vagina too. But the problem is the white man has the resources to reward the black woman or any woman for giving up the goodies. We usually don't, and that's why they've been programmed to say, if I give you this, you're supposed to take care of me. And if you can't, then you a bad guy. And most black men, because of our situation and our financial situation, as far as having economic, you know, on a higher level, being able to take care of the black woman, they looking at us like, bro, you giving me putting all these babies in me, but you ain't taking care of home. You see what I'm saying? That's how
Right.
they looking at it. And they look at the white man like the white man is taking care of home. He's getting the
Yeah.
goodies. And even if I'm his side chick, even if he got a white wife at home, I'm a black woman, I'm his side chick, he's taking care of my bills.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about all black women. I'm not talking about all black women, but I'm talking about those who are caught up in this hypersexual society that we see all around us, Younger. You know what I'm saying? And the men.
I could agree, but I mean, and you may say, let's play devil's advocate. Do you actually? Because it's like that's what they're reduced to. You know, if you're reduced to a whoredom, you know what I'm saying? Because even in a black household, if we're putting children in these women and we're broke, and these white men are we're treating them like whores because we're fucking and we're not doing anything, and the white man is treating them like a whore, but he's treating them like a special whore. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be one of their arguments? I agree with you wholeheartedly. It is a sad day when capitalism is such the order of the day that our race has behaved so barbaric, and we're behaving so crazy towards one another that the survival mechanism has kicked in to where our sisters are like, fuck it, if I'm gonna get treated like shit,
Yep, I'm gonna get rewarded.
I'm gonna get rewarded for it.
Yeah, that's unhealthy. That's unhealthy.
That's super
That's a healthy ideal. Yeah, bro. That's an unhealthy, way to think for a nation to grow. You know what
right.
I'm saying? And it's not really, it's both of us. I'm not putting it all on the black woman. The black man is a full participant too, because if we wasn't attracted to that, it wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we've
If
been
we weren't
programmed too,
bottom
like,
feeders, you know, if we weren't, like you said, if we weren't bottom feeders,
yeah.
catfish,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
to love sex and to be attracted to the opposite is natural. It's natural. But the way we're moving as a community, man, I mean, for real, bro, it's like, it's we the only community that is using the term fluid. When people are fluid now, meaning you sleep with whatever.
yeah.
White people ain't using that. They might be gay, but they ain't using it. They ain't coming up with all these terms. Man, it's a thing now where we the only community, and I'm not bashing our homosexual, bisexual brothers and sisters right now. I'm not trying to, if that's what you do, it's what you do. But it is what I'm saying is that we the only community that really accepts it. Like, you come as you are. You can't go as a gay person, you can't go to these white country towns and be gay and flamboyant and outright with it. They ain't gonna accept you. They won't even let you go to their churches.
But I'm gonna tell you, Issa, man. I mean, Q-Star, I think we actually disagreeing on some things. I agree with that, but I don't agree that the black community have really accepted it. I say that, like any movement, they thrusted it. They made sure that they were recognized, and you were gonna fucking recognize them. The bottom line, at the end of the day, our inability, I feel like, to really address the homosexual question left a big portion, a big resource out of the black community for white homosexuals to use to further their white agenda.
Yeah.
I really wish we as a people could have sat down and addressed that issue as it affects particularly our community. But I feel like since we turned a blind eye to it, since we were very dismissive of it, that white people came and they capitalized on it.
Yeah.
I
You
know
might
that's
you might
kind
have
of
a
out
point
there.
there. You might have a point there, but I also want to just I also add on, man, that a lot of times a lot of black boys growing up and say, hell with being a black man. Why the hell I want to be public
Yeah,
enemy number one? It's easy to be a girl, put this skirt on, I'm less than a threat.
that's I agree with that. That's what I totally agree. Totally agree with. It's but that's related to that's what I call social economic, social cultural politics. It's
Mhm.
when black people are forced further into survival mode and survival mechanism, this is what you get. This
Yeah.
is the factor of being a woman or being homosexual is not just your attraction to the opposite sex. You have to begin to factor in social, economic, and cultural dominance,
Mhm.
security in life. You know what I'm saying? If you see nobody wants to be the nigga, why you think these Negroes running around here and shit? We used to be one of them East dressing like we from the Middle East,
Yeah, we did.
divorcing ourselves from the real black experience. Niggas rather wear an astronaut uniform than walk around here and be a black man from America.
You know, and like you said yesterday, man. You got brothers that's trying to be Jews and brothers trying to be
Hey,
Arabs and trying to be Chinamen. Man, come on, man, be yourself.
absolutely. So if homosexuality was presented as another alternative to black, they were gonna jump on that. But lo and behold, they're finding out that same shit that everybody tries to escape from. I don't call it shit, that glorious blackness that everyone is trying to embrace these little subcultures in their black experience. You can't shake it. Black Muslim, black Jew, black Christian, black homosexual, black. If that prefix is black, you can't escape that black experience.
Yeah,
And now,
no
what
doubt.
I think is uh, another attempt by these sisters to escape the black experience, maybe to end black suffrage. Maybe they're saying, damn, it's time to end it. If we don't breed with these Negroes, maybe black suffrage will end. I don't know.
Hmm.
You know, maybe they didn't become idolcidal. Isn't that the word?
What's a, you know made up a word out of sight.
Idolcidal. No, I got that from you one time. You was talking about white folks are idolcidal. Idolcidal or something. I have
Suicidal.
a, huh?
You talking about suicidal?
Nah, bruh. Idolcidal or something you had said. You was talking where they know that they're gonna die and they destroy everything in the meantime, in between
Yeah,
time.
yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know what that word is, but it's kind of like they, you know, it's a mind state where they know something's wrong with them. They know that they on a decline and they freaking out, man.
Yeah.
And if they freaking out, man. You know, I heard a brother, man, a brother I respect, and you know, he's a black teacher. He's an ancestor now. You know, Dr. John Henry Clark, and you know, the ancestor said, man, he told us, man, get out the way. They are on a path of evolutionary decline. They're gonna be gone. So everything they're doing now is irrational and illogical, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy for survival. It's not healthy, you know. They're the way they thinking, the things that they putting out there. I mean, it's been like that ever since we've been in contact. But now more than ever, look at the boldness of them with critical race, so-called critical race theater, with all these white moms and all these white parents going to all these PTA meetings trying to get all the black history out of the schools. That's not only is that bold, but that is illogical, irrational. But they got the gall and the nerve to do that and set forth with it and be organized with it, bruh.
Yeah.
This ain't like it's a one individual, like this is just one little freaky case. No, this is a whole nation of people that don't organize and say, look, we want to take history books out of schools because we don't want our white kids to feel have a guilty conscience about how what we've done to African people and how we
Absolutely.
capitalized off them. That is bold and illogical. So there, as time goes and older we get, and our kids, they're gonna see more of this irrational, illogical. I like the word you made up. I can't even say the shit. Ideological, whatever.
out of
You
sight
know what I
or
mean?
something. I didn't know I
Homicidal,
was
yeah,
looking it up, but I appreciate it.
genocidal behavior, man. This genocidal behavior, they're taking themselves off out of here. That's one main reason why they're trying to do away with abortion, because they like, man, we have balanced birth rate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
You know what? And like you said about that critical race theory, going back to that, I think what's amazing, man,
you all right,
what's
but
amazing is you're finding black people actually have a problem with it. You
really?
know, yeah, yeah. They're saying that it's teaching us to be victims.
Well, why don't they say that to the Jews then about the
Right,
Holocaust? Why don't they say that to the 9/11 victims? Why don't they say
right,
that? I can go on and on. If we gonna do that, we gonna play that game. Shit. You
right.
know what
You,
I'm saying?
you know that exactly. But it doesn't surprise me. America would go through every level, any length to keep the black African in America stupid. I think you
Mhm.
said something that was key the other day, Cousteau, when you were talking about um how powerful and pivotal. I'm paraphrasing how powerful and pivotal the black African here in America is to world change.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? When we wake up from when we just get some basic common sense,
I'm telling
some
you.
basic self dignity, we would make leaps and bounds. And
Man,
I'm
what
not
what
going to
what
pretend that that's an easy thing. I know the trauma is real.
yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
man. You
Sister
know,
Lundy, what's good?
Sister 90. What's up? Peace.
She might be getting it all together. So, like I said, I know that the trauma is very real.
Oh man, it's real as hell. I mean, we feel it, we see it, we hear it. I mean,
Right.
it's real, bro. I
We-
mean, we've had our own experiences. We've been around the corner a block a few times, and we know it's real, man. I've been in my share of relationships, and the trauma's real, man. I mean, on my own demons I deal with. That I'm trying
yeah.
to,
I mean, you know,
I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to get myself together. You know what I mean? I got demons too. I got stuff that's in me that's like, where did this come from? And then some of the stuff I know where it come from, but some of the stuff I don't.
right.
And
I mean, you
I'm
know
trying to
what?
deal with it. I'm trying to
And
navigate this
that's
shit.
but I don't think that that's specific to just black people.
No, it's
In
not.
that relationships in general,
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, in that what relationships and people go through in general, I don't think that's specific to us. I guess what's amazing me is, like I said, a couple things. One, how the whole suppression of women is put on black men when talking to certain women. Like every bad thing that was visited upon women, black men did it. Impossible. That's first and foremost. Secondly, how do you choose the author of female suppression, female hate? You know what I'm saying? Have you seen what the white man considers beauty? Look at these white models. They got bodies like 14-year-old children.
That's putting the client. That's putting it kindly.
These sick motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
They have bodies of 14-year-old children. Yeah, like you
Six
said, that's
o'clock.
when they
Six
kindly. So
o'clock.
how do you use him, or use this person as the apex of manhood, and this is more desirable, or you get treated better than this monster? Like I said when I was talking about Frankenstein, and this is why it shouldn't surprise me. Everybody calls the monster Frankenstein, but the monster isn't Frankenstein, it's the goddamn doctor.
Sure
Who is
is.
Frankenstein? The monster's just a creation.
Yep. And you might as well throw the people in there, the village that tried to burn them, that burned them. You know, they didn't get to try to understand the man. He just wanted to be left alone and wanted to be whatever other human being wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
But they judged him from the surface and called him a monster, like they do us. You know, like they do us, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is what you find. And so, like in talking, I was shocked to hear some of these sisters talk and the with the candor and like the certainty that they were speaking. I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked because it was new. I was shocked that this type of uh niggerism still existed. You know, like I don't know the word. What's the word of the black woman that was always up under the white man? You know, always reaffirming and
It's bed wench.
bed wench. Okay, that's real.
Yeah, that's
I
real,
didn't
man.
know that type of mentality still existed.
Yeah, because it's rewards. See, they conditioned us. They took everything away from us, man. So when you did do something to support white people's comfort and their privilege, you got rewarded. Always, it's nothing changed since slavery. You get rewarded. You get rewarded for going against your own kind.
Yeah,
You know, you get
yeah.
you get rewarded. Me and you was to come out right now, act like we on syrup and acting crazy, talking about killing people, flashing gun, all this negative imagery. Me and you might get a record deal. We might get be able to, make some money, make some serious money because why? You are promote inappropriate behavior to black people.
Shit, I'm going over to Fox News, nigga. I'm be a black Republican. Talk
They'll
about
love
the
you because you
Negro.
articulate. You know how to articulate your words, bro. They gonna throw you right up there with in Trump's little crowd and everything,
You
bro. They
better
gonna have
know
you doing talking points and all that shit.
all that shit. Yeah. I've always known that black, like you said, we've been the credit card. We've been the fuel of society. You know, and if you can't get it out of us physically, if you can't get it, if you can't get it out of us intellectually, you would get it out of our day-to-day activities. You'll make us into clowns, entertainment.
Yeah,
We've been
that's what that, and
entertaining
that's
masses
basically.
for
And
years.
you a non-threat to them if you entertaining them.
Yeah,
You making them laugh or you catching a football and they're like, oh, you see that? That's a non-threat to them.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So Julius Caesar had a quote one time. He said, "You give them games and give them festivals, and they will not revolt."
yeah,
This is a tyrannical ruler who ruled over nations. He said, "You give them games and you give them feasts and festivals, and they will not revolt." Meaning, you give them NFL seasons, NBA seasons. You give them college football, college basketball. You give them holidays, festivals. You give them holidays, Easter, Christmas. You know, 4th of July, and they will not revolt.
yeah,
Because that's their
yeah.
way of really exhaling. That's the way society exhales.
You know what though? You said something I want to go back and touch on. Which was deep. You said you don't know why women embrace these religions.
I can't
Man,
figure it out. I can't figure it out, big bro.
talk to speak on that, Gustav.
It's a whole mindset, man. Even to this day, black men have really never controlled black women as a like as a whole. We've never really black men. You better word is you unless we get in these authoritarian religions. That's the only time a black man's ever been able to tell a black woman something that they've been a Muslim or Hebrew, and because the religions say the man is first, he's the leader. It makes the woman a servant. Even to the story of Adam and Eve, what does it say, big bro? It says that when Adam fell asleep, he woke. He said, "Who are you?" She said, "How or Eve?" He said, "What are you created for?" To serve you. Come on, bro. To serve you.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
so that whole mentality right there is letting a woman just basically saying you secondary. So I won't understand why any woman would embrace religion when all of religion makes you look weak.
Wow.
It makes you look weak. It makes you look you what's the word? I mean, you have so many prophets in the Bible and the Quran, men who were supposed to supposedly receive revelations from God, and none of them women. Not one single prophet or messenger. And a lot of that comes from when they was in the ice in the caves, when they were going through their evolution, the Caucasian, there was no need to respect the woman. She was a liability. She couldn't really out wrestle and hunt and get food. So to feed her, he was like, damn, you just an extra mouth. Because there was no need for intuition, clairvoyance, enlightenment, spirituality in the Caucasus Mountains, 400 below zero. You trying to survive. You ain't reflecting about spirituality or creator, high power. You know what I mean?
Real.
You worried about survival. So they looked at it. They came up with this concept, this mentality that since I'm stronger physically, I'm feeding you, I'm protecting you, that God must be a man.
Yeah.
God must be a man. Because I'm the only strong, I'm the only one that's strong in this ice world. And they took that mentality, and when Wormian Ice Age left, they took that, brought that south. And when they took over the world, they put that in the religions. Yep. Because that is not what our ancestors believed about the woman. The creator is both male divinity and female divinity. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance. It's a balance. And that only makes sense to me. I mean, I can't put this on anybody else, but it only makes sense to me that the creator would also have female characteristics. A woman's, you know what I'm saying?
I like what you said about how they derived, how they had derived at their conclusion about the gender of their God. And I think it's probably similar to us, looking at nature and the very real things around us.
That's exactly what it was. You touch exactly what I was about to say, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got no fanciful people like that. Hey, we got a question. Empress got a question. She says, if you were writing a letter to your younger self, what would you advise about how to view, treat, honor, and protect Black women?
Whoa.
That's heavy.
Yeah, Younger, you go first.
I love my sisters, right? I love my sisters to death, but we got to get out this protect Black woman shit. Black men need to be protected as well. Like, I'm just sick of the one-way street. It's all about Black women. Black women need to quit sitting on their ass and get up and goddamn maintain some shit.
Man, I heard that.
That's just my opinion. These women who keep pushing out this Black woman agenda shit, them the women who just want to sit on their ass and gain and do absolutely nothing. Because that's what they think the white woman does. The white woman fought to have rights to work.
Yep.
They wasn't sitting in the house talking shit just because they wanted to. It was what their husbands required. So we got to get out of this. The white man treat his women better. The foreigner do this. When you got things like when it's Sharia law, and you got white men who wrote rules in where they women couldn't even come outside. They couldn't talk.
That's facts.
They couldn't ride bicycles. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck you write a rule where you can't ride bicycles? Make that shit make sense. So if you actually
facts. Women, that's what they don't talk about. That's my point, Nandi.
And all these motherfuckers bringing this shit up. I'm sorry, brother Yang. I'm just pissed off because I'm tired. They come in 2022 with the same fuckery. Who's protecting the Black man? Now, let me see if anybody can answer that question. That's called coddling. That's called mammying for the Negro. Well, why the Black man got to coddle and be a mule for the nigger woman? What's the difference? You want them to cuddle your ass.
You know what, Nandi? Can I say something real quick? You know, I think that comes from, this is my opinion. I've been around a lot of single women, and when they get hurt, what do? They clutch their little boys. They take their little boys. Some of them, they just take them and they sleeping with them till like 5, 6 years old. When they have a hard time, they come and give me a hug. Come here, baby. You my baby. And because they might be going through just the hardships of being a black woman in life. And I think as they get older, they always expect the black man to be that kind of crutch for their pain and trauma.
Let me say something. I got 2 sons and 3 goddamn brothers. And I got 10 fucking uncles. And let me tell you something. I don't see us being no different than the other one. First of all, the creator, whatever it is, couldn't have made us by themselves. If it has anything to do with childbirth, because I don't believe in the clay stories. I don't believe in molding motherfuckers with your hand and no goddamn rib and shit. I don't believe that none of that bullshit. Because if that was what was going on, then it should be the same way that childbirth appears today. So I don't even understand why people have this mentality that it's only one thing that created us. What the fuck does that? Where do you get that fucking bullshit? Because it seems like to me everything that's spoken about God references himself with wisdom. Wisdom is her. So that's he trying to say without wisdom in their book, he wasn't shit. So he's telling you right there where the woman stand and what a woman's position is when it comes to his life. This feminine shit, all of this shit is just going too goddamn far.
It's the narrative.
Never answer the question about what can be done for black men. I don't see any answers in this goddamn chat about protecting the black man. Where's that answer? Fuck all the other shit right now. Let's see. Because see, it's easy to push bullshit agendas across the globe just to get $5. But half of the whores that's pushing this shit, they got black dick in their ass right now.
Yeah, because a lot of black women have been programmed to vilify us because the white man has the power, not the white woman. It's the white man. If the white woman was in power, the white woman would give us the platform to have black man magic. Because see,
the white man ain't got no power.
The white man has the power. What I mean by the power is resources. He has the resources.
I'm not gonna keep going.
I'm talking about material. I'm talking about this material gains. I'm talking about things, money, finances. We're not in the same position as the white man. There's only like 5, 6 black.
I finished my point. I was cut off, no disrespect. But what I'm telling you is this: that's bullshit. We are not in a different position. Niggas just choose to spend their money on bullshit. If you want to be the motherfucker buying dashikis all day, investing in Qurans and shit, and you're not investing in your family, that's you.
But that's not real money, Nandi. What I'm saying is there's only 7 black billionaires in America. There's over 300. I'm just telling you the disparity of the wealth gap between black men and white men.
I don't see a disparity in the wealth gap. I don't see that.
There's over 300 billion white men in America. That explains it.
Let me ask you a question, Issa. How do they measure wealth? They measure wealth by what you own. So if you a nigga who getting $5 million a year, and all you want to do is buy gold chains and
I agree with you. That's foolish.
Then that's you.
Right.
Your wealth is according to what assets that you have. What is hands on yours? That's ownership. So if a Negro don't want to take their money, because we got some rich ass niggas, we got basketball players. We got movie stars, we got rap stars, we got bitches popping ass open. If they not doing anything positive with their money, we can't keep making excuses for them.
Yeah, we giving it right back to the white man. We giving it right back to him. I agree.
This is my
Yanga, what you think? Yanga, what you think?
I don't look at it like that because it's a lot of black companies out here that's not being supported because niggas don't dig that deep. Too many niggas look up to Bill Gates. But they don't want to go down there and talk about the Zulu tribe who got their own oil or trying to make any connections with those people. They want to look up to a nigga like Bill Gates. See, most of the niggas that talk this shit love the white man they goddamn self. That's why they want to be Bill Gates. That's why they want to be on YouTube. That's why they want to do all the shit that they doing right now because they just want to identify as just as many black men want to identify with the white man as it is black women. And
absolutely. That's absolutely right. You know, but that goes back to like what we were talking about earlier, that that survival mechanism. You know, that's what they see as the standard of success, the white man and his infrastructure, the empire he's built, from everything from our education to what we watch on television, glorifies and edifies, builds up this white man. So they think success is that. Hell, when I was coming up, the only thing I really knew about Africa was booty scratcher. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't shown. I was sharing that with my son one day. I was looking at television with him. And I said, man, you really are, to a certain degree, fortunate about what you watching on TV. He looked like what the hell is that about? Because I told him when I was coming up, manhood was Captain Kirk, was the Fonz and shit. Fall Guy. We didn't have any black people like that. And when you did have black in the movies, they wore black exploitation. Yeah, they was thumping their nose at the man, but they weren't the most brilliant elements of black society. They was our other side, you know. So I said all that to say that when you looking at what we have as a measure of success, we keep allowing the white standard to be paraded. I really think somewhere in there we're gonna have to redefine that. You know, we keep allowing them to parade that, and the longer that we've been in integration and assimilation, the longer that their standard becomes entrenched. It becomes harder to say, nah, Gucci ain't the motherfucking mark of success. $100,000 ain't the mark of success, huh?
Let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
Let me use somebody like Polite as an example. Polite was out here so-called Black Power, love black people and black women, all that good shit. Soon as that nigga got $5 in his pocket, he went to her. Hey, come and get this damn dog. Oh, I don't want Polo in here. Sorry, y'all. Wait a minute. Let me mute my mic. My dog's moving. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, man.
Damn, hold on. Yeah, that was on mute. That's what but yeah, absolutely. You know, like you were saying, I get where you're going. Like you're saying, when you got the person that creates the standards and then holds everything that says this is the standard, like the resources, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's like playing on somebody, they got home court advantage.
Yeah,
And
like
not,
that.
and the majority of us will lose. Huh?
Like you said, brother, like you were saying about the success, the standard of success in the society is not what we're talking about. It's not having knowledge of the truth, doing for your community. That's not the standard of success pushed in this society. It's about how much material objects do you possess, how much wealth do you have. That is the standard of success in America.
Now let me say this. I agree to disagree, and let me tell you why. If that's the case, and we go standardize our people by success, there's a Nigerian, what most men would think is a sister is actually a man. He has made trillions of dollars off of dressing up like this goddamn man, running through Nigeria, owns most of the gold in Nigeria, owns most of the oil in Nigeria. You don't hear about them type of people. We don't talk about stuff like that.
Of course not.
Niggas want to talk about Kobe Bryant and you know what I'm saying? But I believe in this. If you still a goddamn athlete and you still got an owner, you just another slave nigga. Where's the independent basketball groups? Where's people like the Harlem Globetrotters and stuff like that that never even got successful because niggas didn't want to support that. They was too busy worrying about the goddamn New York Knicks. How many Negroes have spent millions of dollars just to go sit at a football game? Buying these seats, front row seats and all of this shit. If you look at the pandemic, you know why they say they opened everything back up? Because niggas was the ones spending over $700 trillion. You know why they was in debt $700 trillion? Because the niggas wasn't out spending $700 trillion. White people don't buy shit. It's a difference. They don't spend money on nothing. They take everything.
Yeah, we the number one consumer. We the number one consumer.
So while we sitting up here looking at them thinking that they spending money and they white women just ain't got to work or do nothing, they on easy street, that's a bunch of bullshit. They got the same issues we got. They just don't cry about them like we do. They fix it.
Yeah, they just go kill everybody.
I mean, you know what? I ain't trying to be funny, but y'all know how I think. It's a damn shame ain't no blood being shed for my black people. All the way 60s. We got the guerrilla gangster Muslims. We got all of these organizations, but ain't nothing been shed but the black man's blood at the hands of a nigga. So I ain't trying to hear that either. If motherfuckers really wanted to kill some motherfuckers, they would. Just like they killed Khaled, Malcolm, Huey.
That's why I said the white man will go kill his enemy. That's what I'm telling you. He just kills him.
The black man will go kill his own, which is the difference.
Every time. I'm not in disagreement with you. I'm pointing out the obvious. You know, and it's reinforced. Yeah, we'll go kill our own because you get 15 years for killing your own. You get $1 million for killing a cracker. So I'm pointing out the obvious.
So is that
we can't sit here and say what I won't allow to happen is for them to point out like we got some genetic motherfucking inferiority, like we just genetically prone to kill our own. Or no, we have help. Believe me, if you take two pit bulls and instead of cutting the steak in half and feeding both of them, you drop one steak, both of them starving, and you got reinforcement, you got a cage. They know if they bite your ass, you're gonna kill them, this and that. They're gonna turn on each other. I mean, so that's what you see. And it's hell yeah, we'll kill each other. Oh,
it's human nature. It's human nature because Europeans did it today. They did it to their own in Europe when they came here in the early the 1800s. The immigrants, they had gangs in New York. I mean, it's about environment. If the society's deprived of resources and what they need to go forward, you're gonna have crime. You're gonna have an underworld. Yeah. It don't matter what color you are.
You know what? If our ancestors thought like niggas think today before now, no nigga wouldn't ever be free. Yeah, people like Harry.
I agree with you. I agree because we individuals now. We all
nigga shit because that's bitch nigga excuses. Let somebody come in your shit right now and take your last $5 and see how quick you want to kill his ass. But you mean the white man that took every goddamn thing, our identity, who we are as a people, as you would say, resources, cornered the market on jobs, and niggas ain't killed shit. I don't have no respect for that.
Yep. I mean, I listen. It's hard to stomach, but you're speaking the absolute right. But this is what those other sisters are saying. And niggas they saying the same thing you're saying. Then why? So you like that's almost like saying
no, they are not saying the same thing.
Fuck with a nigga. I mean, what I'm not gonna say is this: ain't nothing pussy about us. Ain't nothing pussy about us. We don't do it because there is a social conditioning. Some of us haven't awakened the fuck up. Enough of us haven't awakened enough to make an impact to really be effective. And the ones that do, they gotta play. We in prison or they done murdered us.
Okay, let me correct you on something because see that's gonna fuck my reputation up. So I gotta clear it up there. First of all, I am not saying the same thing that they're saying because I don't believe just because my black man ain't killing, because the black man weak or the black man in a position where he can't make no moves, and I'm gonna go give my ass to a goddamn peckerwood, a fucking wetback or a foreigner. So we are not saying the same thing. In supporting my brothers, picking them up, giving them the courage in the places where they are failing. I don't believe in going and swirling my ass all over everywhere else with my enemies.
I hear you.
So we gonna clean that shit up right now because you got some B1s in your chat and they ain't gonna never think I'm a part of B1.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not,
what's B1?
Absolutely. What are you talking about? I'm not talking about you on the swirl. I'm talking about the denigration and disrespect. I'm tired of hearing that we like some type of motherfucking pussies because ain't nothing pussy about us.
There's some black women out here ain't hitting no shit either. Half of these women who talking shit ain't gonna bust a grape in Welch's backyard. I bust my guns. I'm balanced. It's some women out here, if they getting robbed right now, these motherfuckers call the police instead of busting their shit. I ain't calling shit. Don't come through my motherfucking window creeping. I ain't calling shit unless they coming in with some body bags. It's some weak ass black women too. But them motherfuckers need to stay over there. We ain't got time to save the world. We can't save the world till we save our motherfucking self. And that's what's wrong with niggas. Too busy trying to analyze the world. Analyze your motherfucking self. What's going on with your children and in your backyard. And once we get that out of the way, all the fake motherfuckers gonna run anyway because they ain't ready for the gangster shit.
Well, the gangster shit, you know, they got us, the gangster shit towards each other, the music, the culture. That's why a lot of us, I understand what Yanga, what you say. I understand what you saying too, Sister Nandi. Yanga's, what you saying, Yanga, is that it ain't the pussies, that they got our minds. They got our minds redirected as black men. They got our sagging our pants down. First of all, you can't fight no war with you holding your pants up with one hand. Then they got all of us looking at each other suspiciously, looking at each other skeptically because of the music, and also because of the conditions. When you kill a black man, you get way less time to killing a white person. And also because also it's about proximity. Hurt people, hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. These white people in these white towns, you think they don't got murders? It just don't get. Huh?
They got murders, they raping, they doing all kind of shit. They don't get the exploitation we get. They not gonna.
It's about proximity. But I'm gonna say, go ahead, bro.
No, you were saying that that's I think you articulated well. That's just the point I'm making, that you know they don't get, and it's a sickness that we have. Is no excuse. It makes me sick. It is pussy ass nigga shit because we do impose it on one another. That's what makes it pussy. But the sad part is we doing pussy ass shit, but we ain't pussy ass niggas.
Now, that's since the beginning of indigenous servitude. See, this is the romanticizing I don't like. Since the beginning of servitude, like you told me, don't you ever fucking speak about something if you don't know what you're talking about. So let me talk. We've been had motherfuckers against each other. This ain't just started. Niggas sold niggas into slavery first, and people don't want to discuss that. We've been had haters, but if the ancestors thought like we did, it wouldn't be no free niggas today. We've been had niggas in our block snitching, but they got put in ditches. Now niggas just sit next door and talk with the motherfucker. They know Ray snitching, but it's okay. We didn't allow white people in our communities. There's no security. When I was in East Lake Meadows and Kirkwood, my grandfather them stood up with shotguns and motherfucking rifles and all kind of shit, where the mayor and the goddamn police was scared to come in Kirkwood and East Lake Meadows.
I remember that.
So what the fuck? If you ain't about that life, and they still scared to today, even though the white folks over there, them motherfuckers walk like rats pissing on cotton. Cause the real niggas who was there, who started this shit, still there, and they scared to move. To the point where they trying to get all my folks shit down around now. Cause they scared that one family that's still standing, and Hosea Williams family, we're gonna spark some more shit. See, the great white flight took over. The great white flight took over. And our people got weak. And all that pussyfooting and shit that went on with Martin Luther King and the black Muslims, this is the weak shit. We gonna look gangster, but we ain't gonna do shit. That's the images that fucked up the black man. When you put out one image and then you another, that's just like a black brother. If you meet a sister today and she tell you she's a virgin and she this and that, and then you go in the coochie and you follow that motherfucker like it's Ricky the Field, you not gonna look at her the same no more. Same thing when it comes to the black man, letting us be out here going through bullshit. Even our black children. It's men wanting to protect their children. They pussify their children, or just don't go to school and fight. Let it go. Tell the teacher, you got me fucked up. My dad used to come into school to fight with me. Because where you do that at? So it's a lot of things from the women to the men that needs to be changed. And I have to go after this. It's not that let me tell you something. You know about this. But the truth is just the truth. White women have been choosing and forcing a lot of black men to sleep with them for years. This is where the word bitch come from. Them nasty ass, pale face, peckerwood women come out there and bend their asses over on their cycle and force our black men to sleep with them because they didn't want to get pregnant and emacifying out about it. Our black men been through just as much gruesome shit as the black woman. They weren't the only ones being raped. They weren't the only ones being sold in slavery. It was more harsher to me. Am I saying my sisters went through something that I sit up here and agree with they should have? No. But when I got black men being raped and water hoses stuck in their asses and niggas is being hung from trees and their teeth are being knocked out because when they tried to stand up and be real, they was forced down not only by their people, but the white man. I'm not going to sit here and give all this goddamn balance to those sisters because a lot of sisters chose to be bad witches. They loved Massa. We can use the bullshit movie Roots. Kunta went through all of that shit to try to save the first woman he was with. This bitch screamed and called Massa. She ain't going nowhere. Massa treat her good. He got fucked up that first time. Here's another time he ran. Belle didn't want to run because she loved Massa so much. When Massa told Kizzy to get the fuck on, he didn't believe in Kizzy staying put. So don't tell me about strong black men when you got weak ass black women that'll go get in the bed with Massa and change his motherfucking mind. Behind every good black man is a good woman. So if you's a weak woman, your man is weak. And it's just that simple. Keep on putting this shit all up on black men.
Mic drop.
If you're a weak sister, that's you. All that shit want to pray and play with juju beans and shit. We've been praying for 1,261 goddamn years and ain't nobody God showed up. Fuck talking about the Christian God. Fuck talk about Allah. What any of them motherfuckers said it? I'll shut up and sit down. You remember me? The die-hard religious person? Don't call me on Thursdays. Don't call me on Saturdays. I'm spending time with the Lord. I'm on Jesus. See, that's why a lot of people don't know shit about 90 because I done been through all of that. But where the fuck was Jesus when my brother got killed? Where the fuck was Jesus when my mama died? Or I found my grandmama dead in the house. Where the fuck was Jesus? I don't want to hear that praying shit. Not a goddamn thing that got done for niggas until we got up and did it ourselves. And that's just that simple. Niggas all in these religions and shit. That's why they brought this shit over here. If religion was meant for us, why the fuck did it take to the 60s and for them to admit religion in this motherfucker in order for us to worship it?
Religion was created for geopolitical gain from the Arabs, for Caucasians all around the world, because black people, we the only people that argue about these religions. White people and Asians and Arabs ain't debating. They not debating about who God is and the stories in the Bible and the Quran. It's only African Americans for the most part. I agree. It's a trick. It's a ploy to keep us from facing reality, our own reality.
If you pay attention, Issa, and you are absolutely right, it is the formation of modern day slavery.
That's why they promote it. That's why all the main religions say slavery is what? Permissible. They all say it's permissible.
Kill Allah. If we just think you're going to kill Allah. But I don't understand people who worship certain religions. Because if you go and look at the basis of it and where it started from Jews to Arabs to Caucasoids or whatever, why the fuck we follow that anyway? Where is the African that started religions? I don't see it.
Because the whole object of religions, when they learned spirituality from our ancestors in Africa, and they went back and they wrote and they took from their vivid mind and their experiences, they made it to take Africa. They never created Islam, Judaism, or Christianity to get to this heaven. This heaven they created, it was to take African minds and bodies and the resources. And history proves that. History, look at their actions. This is what religion was created for. And also to keep black people in this false reality of Adam and Eve and all these exaggerated stories, far from reality, from our reality. Yeah. Even though a lot of the stories in the Bible and the Quran come from African spirituality, but they have twisted it to make you think that that's our reality. And it's not. It's metaphors mostly. So yeah, religion is a big problem in our community. It is.
I would agree.
Tell brother say, hey, Yango. Hey, Yango.
Hey, peace.
That's what Jeremy.
Oh man, the kid, they grow so quick.
He talking to you.
What's up, buddy?
You at what? Where you at?
I'm in North Carolina now.
Come over here.
What's up, little bro?
They remember y'all. He remember you. That's all.
That's my guy there, man. That is my guy.
Okay.
All right, man.
He tried to get him a bubble bath, right?
Yeah, he trying to get you to run him a bubble bath.
Don't give me cold one.
Okay, I'm do side.
Don't run in the cold water, nothing.
On his cold days, he like to swim.
Oh, okay.
Cause I don't let them go to public places like that. So he's swimming on his cold days in his shorts. On his hot days, he wants to take a bubble bath and wash his butt. These kids are smart.
They too smart. I love it.
I did a whole historical thing on this though, and then I hate to say it, but a lot of our black women, and they get mad, they need to check themselves. They will make a black man
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes just the words, and I know this from experience. That's why I tell people, unless you want to hear the truth, don't fuck with me, cause I done been through all of that. I done tried to push religion on niggas, and I thought things, you just ain't shit. I done fell out with niggas about their religion, and I done learned you can't change shit. You gotta let people change themselves. You worry about yourself.
You know what? I totally agree. And also I think it's like that lack of identity. So what we do, and especially with religious restrictions and constraints in our mind, like you asked a question, you said, where are these gods? Where are these gods when this was going on? But the gods was always here because the gods are us. And we fail ourselves because we go through every effort to make our real life, our contemporary problems fit into historical text. You know what I'm saying? We try to baby mama drama, legal issues, whatever we going through, we try to find them in some historical scripture. And that instead of our gods evolving according to how our material everyday world evolves, it just leaves us in a fucking vacuum. Like Issa said, it's geopolitical. It's economic. You can be all the Muslim. I realized that when I was deep into my so-called Islam and stuff, and at the end of the day, the deeper I got, the more I enriched other people. If I want to eat halal, we didn't own any. We didn't own goats. We didn't. I used to do halal meat, but I was an employee. I worked for an Arab.
Something before I would say the early 70s. Who the fuck was eating goat meat anyway? See, a lot of this shit we got to look back at. When did it start and where did it come from? When somebody brought shit to us.
Right. Well, I'm going to say some things we had, for like our Caribbean brothers and sisters that may have been over here, the Jamaicans and stuff. But I know exactly what you're saying. What the Arabs did, because the Arabs was over here a lot longer than they had let themselves know. But what they did, they had written us off. But like any people, when they see money in us, then everybody want to invest. So they didn't see a commodity in us until after the death of Elijah Muhammad. When they saw the potential, Elijah Muhammad allowed them to see the potential. And in his death, and when Wallace Muhammad took over, the Arabs saw the huge potential in the black community by teaching and imposing and getting them to fall up under Orthodox or Sunni Islam.
That's correct.
Okay, I'm going through the history, right?
Yeah.
Until 1982. In the 1500s, the first European was brought to so-called America. In the 1600s, it was the English. The 1700s, hold on a second, it's going down. They actually start to re-enter. And what they mean by re-enter, return the natives back to their land. In the 1970s, we saw just black and white everything. I'm going through this, so I'm just skipping it. I'm going to put this up. In 1981, 82, and 83 is when we first seen the first Arabic, Chinese, or anything that's outside of America. Anything that's outside of Eurocentric. It wasn't until the 1980s. So Arabic has not been over here. That's why
I wouldn't call that an accurate census. I wouldn't call that an
accurate census.
Because the Chinese was over here. Chinese was over here doing the railroads, building
Yeah.
railroads
Yep. In the West Coast.
in the West. Chinese was over here building the railroads and stuff.
When you
America
ask the
is
name of the
huh?
paper, but this is actually history.com. And like they said, the new laws in 1965 ended the quota system that favored European immigrants only. And today, the majority of the country's immigrants that come from Asia and Latin America. Then this was just dropped in 2021.
Yeah, I see what you saying, Sister 90. You talking about she's talking about an influx, Yanga. She's talking about a boom. Like we know there was Asians here. It was sprinkles of Arabs here, but she's talking about a like a boom of the when the Europeans came, when the Irish came in uh
Oh, okay.
the late like the 1850s and 60s. They came to the East Coast, the Irish and the Italian. She's
Right,
talking about in
right,
the early 80s, the Asians and the Arabs came over here in record numbers. A lot of
right.
they opened up the gates. America opened up their gates for these people. Is that
And
what you're
this is
talking
Okay.
when
about,
we start
sister?
seeing the wise, yeah, exactly. And if you look, this is when we start seeing the widespread of mom and pop shops and stuff deteriorating. And we
True.
walk in the store and we see the Chinese man in there now. And the
Yeah.
Arab in there now. But before then, we didn't see no shit like that. It was either Mr. Damn Dannemans, which was in my neighborhood, a white man, or it was damn Bro the nigga who had the meat shops and shit.
Yep.
It was
That's
none of that.
exactly.
It was black and white everything. Because a lot of these foreigners and Arabs and shit, what you got to understand, this is why people say how they get over here and they get right into business because it's business contracts only. They only here to work.
Oh,
So
that was the death blow. That was the death blow, 90. When we integrated, what not only did we stop supporting black businesses because we wanted to patronize white businesses, so we took dollars away from black businesses and gave it to white folks. They opened up the doors for the Asians and the Arabs to come into our community and then take our money in our community. So that
Yeah.
was the death blow. That was the whole intention of integration to basically castrate us economically as a community.
and see if you look at that, like in our neighborhood, Mr. Downham's, that white man owned that grocery store for years. Him and a black man named Mr. Warren. Then we go in there and we see Sue and them. Sue them stayed there 5 years. Then they passed it down to John So or John Suey, some shit like that. Her nephew. Then her nephew passed it down. Now they done sold it to some foreigners that has turned it into a medical facility just for foreigners only. Okay, now I see these same Chinese people over here in this liquor store that was owned by this black man by East Lake Meadow. Mr. Everybody knows him as damn, how could I forget his name? It's gonna come to me. His name was really Mr. East Lake. But he owned
But
grocery stores and all of this stuff up
but
there.
what that
Muslims has taken over. You know what I'm talking about, brother Yang.
yeah,
Right down
yeah.
flat shows in Fayetteville and shit. It was all black everything. The Muslims took it over. They stayed for 5 years. You never see this Arab or anybody again.
But no, you don't. I'm a I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why, because integration, while we went the integrationist route, we began to try to find our success and prosperity in integrating with America. And these groups moved ethnically. They didn't buy into the whole integration and shit. They didn't care about that. They moved ethnically. I looked it up. It said the first wave mass migration, 1880s to 1924, of the Arabs. See, the Arabs, the only people that was capitalizing on us, like you said, was the crackers.
But
The
where was
crackers,
that's the thing. They were in a limited space. They wasn't all over America. This
right. No, they weren't. They were largely like where we're from, the mid east,
In
up
the
in
East Coast, in
Michigan
the
and
East
shit
Coast,
like
that's
that.
where Noble Drew Ali and Elijah Muhammad, like Detroit,
Exactly.
with Fard Muhammad. Yeah, yeah,
They had a large Syrian Lebanese
yeah.
population in the Mid East. So what happened is, though, they know to keep their motherfucking mouth shut. All of these ethnicities, they played in the cut. They had slums back in the days, but they didn't make no real noises. They laid in the cut and built up economic power, political power, all the shit they would eventually need. And how they did that is like how everybody does. They did it on the backs of black people. White
Yeah, and,
people,
and you got to remember the Arab world was in turmoil then. They
yeah.
had no
So
base. They had no financial base because Egypt was going through revolution. It was a revolution going on at that time between the late 1800s and the beginning of the 20th century. You know what I'm saying? So once they established order in Arabia, that's when you started to see the stores. They organized. They brought Islam in to pacify us, just like the European did with Christianity, act like they are brothers in faith, and then they taking our dollars. They taking
and
our
you
money right up under our noses in the name
right,
of we brothers.
I agree with a lot of what y'all saying, but like what I'm trying to say is like y'all said economic things, but the only thing that they was able to create was churches,
yeah,
mosques, stuff like that. It was from them escaping from the Ottoman rule. And
yeah,
the Ottoman rule happened when the first Arabic slave trade, when the Somalians and Ethiopians, the Ethiopian church, Ethiopian kingdom church, all of this shit combined themselves and started working together. But like they said, the second wave was from 1950s to 1960s. The third and most powerful blow of these fucking eras was from the 1970s to the 1980s when they was
yeah,
fleeing the Middle East from the Lebanese Civil War. So in 1980 to 1988, during the first and second Gulf Wars, that's when many Iraqs fled the fighting, mainly the Christian Iranians, and they are still fleeing to this current day.
yes. That's what we're saying. When did Elijah Muhammad die?
In
Like,
1975.
Right.
yeah,
So his son took over in about 77, 78. This is when you see like what you're talking about. So that timeline adds up. The explosion, it left. See, Elijah Muhammad he didn't teach what the Arabs would have called Islam.
yeah,
He didn't, so that it wasn't no one united Islamic understanding. They didn't accept that shit. And so when his son came, when he died and his son took over, his son went to traditional or orthodox, which to me opened the door
to create
for
a
the Arab.
relationship.
Right. And so the economic, like in Amos Wilson's book, Black Power, the Blueprint to Black Power, he says under Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam economically was probably one of the strongest black organizations of its time in economics, right?
Yeah,
So when he died and Wharf D. Muhammad took over and went to that traditional Orthodox Islam, he totally collapsed the economic base because in order to be to have a full understanding of traditional Islam, you basically, and to practice it what we thought was correctly, you basically had to buy all the shit from the Arab, the food,
yeah.
the books, the clothes.
You gotta pray in
We
Arabic. You gotta pray in their
huh?
language. You gotta
Pray in
pray in
their
their language.
language. You begin to Arabize yourself.
But see, I hear all of that crazy shit, and it sound good for black Muslims to preach that shit. But in our reality, y'all still speaking in fucking Arabic. You still calling it talking in Arabic. You still praying in Arabic. What the fuck is the difference? See, this is a divide and conquer.
What do you mean? What do you
Yeah, but
mean?
we speaking in English too, Nandi.
Of course,
We
Yeah.
speaking
translation.
the oppressor's language. I mean,
That's
you
the same thing I can say about the Hebrews when they are telling us that things are out of context and the translations are different. But then when I go look at the translations and the original so-called Hebrew language is Arabic. It's Arabic.
I don't get the question. Like, so what do you, I mean,
What
what do
I'm
you
saying
mean
is
that
that you're
there's,
saying that Orthodox Muslims, that y'all saying they gotta pray, they gotta call in Arabic, they gotta do ain't no different than the damn Nation of Islam or black Muslims.
no, no, when we're talking about the comparison to the black Muslims, and in that example, I was talking about economically, but if you're talking about theologically, religious wise, there are tons of difference.
Even
They're not the same.
shit. Yeah, even
Huh?
none of the programs that Elijah Muhammad created was for black people as a collective. It was only for their members. They do the same exact
Their
thing.
members were black, Nundy.
How you know?
They didn't have, my father was in the Nation of Islam. He
But they got
black.
your daddy, but it was also white men that was in the Nation of Islam and white women too. Farrakhan, half his family white. Shit,
But
was a white
Farrakhan, you got to understand the division. Farrakhan is an offshoot. All of them, I'm not, listen, I'm not defending. Let me do a disclaimer before you and I get in a discussion. I'm not defending the Nation of Islam, but for historical integrity and accuracy, I will share with what I know. And Farrakhan is an offshoot. Farrakhan's is called the Nation of Islam Final Call.
It's a continuation
The lost
of
and
Elijah
found
Muhammad.
Nation of Islam is under Silas Muhammad.
That's bullshit. The final call was out in the damn 1930s.
It's a continuation. Farrakhan is basically continuing with Elijah Muhammad.
So if he continued with what Elijah Muhammad started, and we all know Elijah Muhammad was no goddamn black man. Then he went from a black man to being a Creek and all of this shit. This motherfucker's a goddamn Jew because you look at the heritage of his father. And then you look at what for Rod Muhammad. Was the nigga a white man or was it an Arab? Either way, it wasn't a nigga.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing no different than what the hell so-called Wallace.
I'm gonna say this though, Nandi. I'm gonna disagree a little bit. The Nation of Islam did a lot of good things for us. And it did some things that wasn't good for our community, but it did a lot of things. Because at the time we was conquering our herd, we wanted to be white. It gave us at least self-identity,
get a lot of trouble.
self-love.
You finna go there.
Wait a minute, what you just say? Hold on, I was talking to my son. What you just say now?
I'm not saying everything they've done or everybody they've touched, they've been innocent and honest. Yeah, we know that they've done some horrific things as far as assassinations. I mean everything, but they've done a lot of good things for people in general in the community as far as getting out of this mindset that white is right, white ice is colder.
Hold on, everybody who
if anything, but that.
I want you to be everybody who done said this wasn't able to do this. Name me 5 things that the Nation of Islam did for black people as a collective. I ain't talking about their members.
I didn't say 5. I just gave you one. I said anything if they just did that one thing, waking black people up, not wanting to be like white folks. That's good.
From one slave master to the other fucking slave master. What did they wake you up to? Looked like to me they knocked you out cold. Took you from the peckerwood and brought you back to the goddamn Arab, the very first slave trade that destroyed any foundation that black people had as a people.
You got no more fingers.
Yeah, look at me.
I don't know. Yeah, I think all of that for me, all of that is like, opinion. However, people feel like I'm talking about historically. If we go back to Farrakhan, Farrakhan has the final call, Nation of Islam. That is not the continuation. You have some people arguing that is not the continuation. Silas Muhammad has the lost and found Nation of Islam, and they're headquartered out of Georgia. So there's Brandon. You got what, Mike Muhammad, or so? It's about 1 million nations of Islam.
Was started by Elijah Muhammad in the damn 1930s.
Absolutely.
Hold on. This is the second release of this final call of Islam. And everything that's in that book, in that newspaper and the stuff that I read in the original newspaper is identical.
What is the original name of the Nation of Islam?
The final, wait a minute. I got it right here because the one in the Nation of Islam. Wait a minute, let me go back in my archives. You know I just did a debate on this. And the first name of the newspaper was the Final Call of Islam.
Right. So Farrakhan took that, but what was the name of the Nation of Islam?
Give me 1 minute, I'm finna tell you. Just give me a second. I got my shit archived. Let me go in here. There's a Wonder Nation.
What are you looking for, family?
the name, and I'm gonna hang out a little bit longer, man. I hope I'm not getting y'all sending out good vibrations for me, family. I hope I'm not catching this damn corona. This shit that sound like Transformer, Omicron, or
I
whatever the
know it
hell.
was
Yeah, I
something.
heard you
It was
sneezing. I
something.
heard you sneezing. You got some green tea or something like sour salt with some honey or something, bro.
I'm about to be on everything, Gustav. What was you saying, Nandi?
Wait a second. Because I know it was temples. It was something.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna go and say it's the lost and found Nation of Islam. That's
So because they took lost and found out, they're supposed to mean something.
no what it means is what I'm trying to get you to understand is that there are differences. So the lost and found Nation of Islam, what they call the original, what it originally started under, a man named Salis Muhammad
I know
leads that.
stop. Silence.
Farrakhan, stop, sister. I'm trying to give you accurate factual. This is documented, can be looked up. And Farrakhan, like you said, is the second coming of the final call because the paper had taken on the final call of Nation of Islam. Farrakhan began to take that, and he's more popular. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
because
I think
him and Wharf Dean had beef. They
right
had
because
they was going because Farrakhan was like, you betraying your father's ideology with this
yeah,
Orthodox Arab Islam.
yeah, they had their whole little internal war.
It was okay
You
for an
know,
Arab to be the leader of his father. Make it make sense. It was
what you
okay for
mean?
Farad to come and give him this bullshit.
Shit, no. That's where you had now. Here's an interesting fact. That's where the 5%ers break out. Where Father Allah, Class 13X, had a problem with that and confounded him. He said, if black man is God, then Father Muhammad must be half God.
And
And
another
therefore,
question: if Islam,
and he called me his uncle.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So he used it, he confounded them with the math on, the very teachings of who is God, and class 13X confounded them or stymied them on their very own teachings, and that's why he ended up leaving. And you had the birth of the 5% Nation Islam, or the gods and earths.
So
You know
let
what I'm
me
Yeah.
saying? So I mean, just the whole
they don't
history of it
follow
is very interesting.
the original Islam. If they don't follow that, why is their name the Nation of Islam? If they not for Arabics, why?
Because it was the opposite of Christianity. The white man
Oh,
was a Christian, the white man was a devil. So if the white man's religion is Christianity, then the black man's religion had to be Islam. This was their way of thinking.
Yeah.
Because the
oh, so
black man
it's
is
that
God.
way.
God is opposite of the devil. Islam is opposite of Christianity. That's what they were putting forth.
Oh, so basically, it's a religious war. The Arabs and the
Basically,
Christians been fighting. The
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Arabs
the way of
and the
looking
Jews
at it.
been
That's
fighting. And now
that's
they
a
come and get a bunch of niggas to come and push the agenda of what the Arabs and the Jews been going through from the beginning of
Uh,
time.
but basically, to a degree, I think that they came late. The nigga, the what you call the Negro, the black man adopted it themselves. No,
right.
Noble Drew Ali
So,
adopted it before Elijah Muhammad. So what we did in what I call escapism, looking for something to rally us, to
That's
gather us, to
right.
organize us, to get behind, we began to uh, adapt or grab these things and accept these things and start to teach these things. I think what's important to remember though is they didn't have no motherfucking internet. They didn't know like we know now. You know what I'm saying? So they were reaching out, but the Arab, he took advantage of our ignorance. We didn't go into Islam emulating the Arab. The Arab, when we killed the blackness in our Islam, it left us open, just like we do today with this African spirituality, no disrespect, but it leaves us, we get so gung-ho in that, there again, black Africans here from America, that now you got the Nigerians robbing your dumb asses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're always thinking somebody does it better than us. And
And
then
we want
those
to be
people,
liked. We want to be liked.
yeah,
We
we
want to be
want to be like,
liked, man. As a whole, we want to be liked.
and then those people come and capitalize
They take
on our
advantage.
ignorance.
Yep.
You find the same thing happen with the cultural nationalist movement. You show a little love of Africa, a little interest in Africa. Now everybody want to flood you with African material, and dashikis are $1 million. African statues are, So I mean, and that's us. We out African, the brother from the continent.
We out Muslim to Arab. We out Christian to white folks. We out
Jew to Jew.
Yeah.
So that was that interesting development of the history of Islam. But I there again, I say that the Arab took advantage of a void. You know what I'm saying? They took advantage of that religious void. War of D. Muhammad, with whatever he was trying to accomplish at that particular time, aided and assist into pushing us over into that understanding. And there again, another people supreme, and this time Arab supremacy.
Yeah.
Arab damn supremacy at its finest.
That's what it is. That's facts.
So it's terrible we go through that. Yeah. But it's and all of this is right, and all of this is relevant because this goes into our relationships. When we started to take on these religions, like you were saying earlier, Issa, when we take on these religions, then we take on that hierarchy. We take on that order that we think alhamdulillah, that society that society should be governed under.
Right.
And a lot of times that order is Eurocentric, it's patriarchal, it's contrary to the very nature and makeup of the black man. But due to our ignorance and our wanting to embrace some type of identity, man, we gobble it wholeheartedly. Yeah. And that's what you saw under Elijah Muhammad and the rest of these people who emulate other religions and become cult leaders. And what happens, it is so unnatural to us that we fall into the traps of it. You find these people practicing pedophilia and homosexuality and abuse, taking liberties with the sisters or misappropriating money, just outright robbing the people. Because the ways of authority and governing and leadership are not natural to African people. So we don't know how to handle that shit. And
it's not natural. It's not natural. It's not natural. We're in an unnatural environment, so it's only normal that we act unnatural. It's like crabs. They say crabs in the burrow. What do crabs do? They pull the other crab down. Well, that's how they're supposed to act, because crabs are not. That's not the natural environment. Is in a burrow. Their natural environment is in the ocean, and when they're in the ocean, this is how they live. The bottom crab, which has to eat, allows another crab to get on top of him or her to eat. And once that crab is full, then that crab goes on the bottom and the other crab goes on top, and then it's their turn to eat. But see, if you put them in a burrow, they're gonna pull each other down. It's just like we not in Africa. We in an environment, a capitalistic society where we don't have the resources. We don't even educate our children. We don't have no system. And we're acting like crabs in a burrow because we are in a burrow. And this is how you act in an unnatural environment.
Yeah.
That's what you saying, man. That's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you find us doing. Behaving unnaturally. When I was in that culture like that, one thing like Nundy pointed out, when I was in that culture like that and I was married to, and you was around, Issa, how tumultuous some of the marriages, my marriage was, trying to live up under that understanding. And because one thing I quickly came to realize, and when I got from under that understanding, my relationships with black women were better. I quickly come to realize that I don't care how much of that Muslim, this and that was a black woman. That wasn't no Arab. Ain't gonna be no welcome behind, shut your mouth, sister.
Right.
What did you say? Ain't gonna be none of that. None of that.
That's right.
And so We don't factor those things in. Like I said, escapism. Our women are not going to be subjugated to some of the cultural practices of these foreigners, and rightly so. I don't, because I don't want to be subjugated to the practices and standards of the oppressor. I'm not
No,
going to hold you.
because we always, in a time immemorial, but back in Mother Africa, and I always go back there because that's when we act like we had some sense. Is before we was interrupted, is that we looked at the woman as our equal, not
Yeah,
as not as a co-host or something like that, a secondary partner. You second. We didn't look at the black woman. We didn't look at the African woman like that. It wasn't until they came with this ideology of heavenly father and the man is this, the man is that, the man's in control and ruling. And they put in all their religions that the man is control and ruling. That we have this messed up kind of way of thinking that doesn't go with our nature.
yeah,
We the first people on earth. It took a man and a woman to populate the planet, not just a man.
yep,
But then the religion tells you that everything comes from a magical heavenly father.
absolutely, absolutely. Which is crazy, but
It is.
this is what we're dealing with. Listen, I'm gonna wrap up, wind it down. I'm sick. Plus, I believe
I hear
there's
you,
a.
man. I hope you get better, man. May you be healed, brother.
I mean, man. I mean, I say.
Same here. I hope you feel better. I've been down. I probably go live for a little bit.
I know that's right. You going live in? Is there a debate tonight?
You know what? I don't think so, but I double check before I go live, and
All
I
right, double.
let you
I
know.
think it might be a debate. I think Asiatic Lion or something may be debating.
I don't know which one. I don't know. Let me go in here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sister
shout
Nandi, you
out
be
to
at
the.
Sister Nandi show. She be dropping it. It be on fire. So I'm gonna
Hey
check it
man,
out.
check
I'm gonna
definitely.
tune in.
Shout, Shouts out to the queen of the camp 90. Check 90's page out. Shouts out to them debaters at that Solar Vision Debate League. Big shouts out to the commissioner Solar Mind. My guys over there at the Argument League, it be going down. Them gals over there, young ladies and young women. I don't always agree with what you're talking about, but I shout out the platform that allows people to have a damn say, whether I agree or not. Shouts out to all the fam over that way. Um, and yo, check me out. Stay
I need
tuned.
to send you this
Subscribe.
video. I'm sorry,
Huh?
I cut you off. I'm gonna send you this video. The goddamn the manosphere was on Taz's show last night.
Oh shit. Send me the video, please.
Yeah, let me shoot that to you now.
Yeah, before we get off here, I just want to throw something out about me and my brother's business. Little clothing line, Ancestry Treasury. Go check it out. Just type in Ancestry Treasury and then just go to the two links. There's two links. So, hey, we just got conscious
Yeah.
clothing, something so the people can relate to who we truly are. And we ain't got to keep putting their name brands on and identifying what they want us to be identified as. You see what I'm saying?
You ain't saying nothing about that, gang. I'm gonna be promoting it on my show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mandatory.
Ancestry Treasury,
East is all
Queen.
input. Yeah, check it out. Ancestries.com. And he's right. It's not just the clothing line, man. It's a whole saga. You
Yeah,
dig? It's a whole
story. It's our story.
It's our story. Wrapped up and manifested in apparel, and we expressing it. So you gotta definitely check out the website, and cop some gear. That's gonna be the hottest shit going. I know. I can't wait to get mine. But listen,
Yeah, man.
yeah. When I get up there and see you, baby, bro. So listen, everybody, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Again, Queen of the Camp, I love you. I appreciate you hanging out, sister.
Thank you. Peace to everybody.
All right, peace,
All right.
sister. I love you, bro. Love y'all. And next
Love you
time,
too,
peace and
Kusma.
blessings. And I want to end it on this. There's 4 types of people. Those that don't know and know they don't know, those are children. Those that don't know and want to know, those are students. Those who don't know and think they know, those are fools. And those who know and know that they know, those are the wise.
Hey,
I want to thank both of y'all. We had a great bill tonight. It's good
I
to
think
have
so too.
both sides, the
No
believers,
doubt.
believers. It gives people information on both sides. So I love when we do these these type of shows. And I'm so
Oh,
glad
absolutely.
you joined us, brother.
Well, that's how they gonna get it. You know, we got to talk to each other because won't nobody else. Everybody else scared of us. So,
Right.
so
Man, I'm talking about they been crying all night. I just been cracking the fuck up.
Hey, nah, we like the A team. We like the A team. They getting out the way. The debaters, they don't want it, man. They don't want it.
exactly.
Yeah, with two sons, the bloodline of Kahara, and a student. Nah,
Yeah,
It's on.
we
It's
gonna
on.
we gonna mess around have to get Kustal signed up, Nandi.
right.
Yeah, for
Whenever
sure.
he's ready, all he gotta do is let me know, cause I know he gonna wig some folks over there when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing up. I say, bro, I'm bringing the sledgehammer. I said, you and 90, y'all the sword. Y'all slicing them up real nice. Let me be the sledgehammer. Let me just drop it real simple. Boom. Go do your research.
But you plugged
Yeah.
in anyway. You ain't gonna. All you gotta do is contact Solar.
Yeah,
And
I
let him,
already
you
know.
know what I'm saying? Let him know. He gonna make the league anyway. So just you call Solar when he ready, and I'll set up his interview.
I'm
Okay.
ready. Whenever.
And I'm gonna
All
go.
right, man. Hey, man. Number love and next time, family.
Yeah, same.
All right, number love.
I'm gonna text.
All right, peace.
I'm gonna text Solar and put in the word for him now.
You say what?
I'm
Nandi?
gonna go ahead and text Solar and put in a word for him now.
Okay, sounds good.
Get him up. And nice. I hope you feel better, brother Yanger.
Thank you, Nandi.
All right, peace, guys.
All right, peace.